All right, what I'm about to share with you, I've already taken permission. So, okay. Uh, this female, she sends me a message, says, "Can I speak to you? Like to talk to you and all that." My problem is, if you want to talk to me, uh, I charge money. I don't speak to just about anyone because there are enough and more people who want to talk to me. My time, my expertise, my advice, whatever, I charge money, and that's my business. So she wasn't in a position to pay money, so I told her, if you want, you can either send as an email, or if you want, send as voice notes. Some people are very comfortable sending voice notes. So she sent me voice notes, and she was really hurting. She was really hurting, and I'll not play the voice notes, but in a nutshell, this woman is undergoing quite a lot. It's quite a lot. To put it mildly, it's like she's afraid about her marriage failing. She's afraid of losing the custody of her children. She is afraid of, after divorce, what's going to happen. Um, she doesn't have the competence to get a job because she has not worked. She didn't work for a couple of years. She was at home. So life is not going very well for her. And on top of that, her husband is apparently cheating on her with another female, and that's why he wants a divorce and he's moving on. And she's very afraid what's next. She's very afraid. And given the fact that she's not a young female, once you cross a certain age, it's a very scary proposition. Very, very scary. I mean, just imagine if you are in that female's shoes. You rely on your husband, you left your family, you rely on your husband, and that's your world. You had a job, but you gave up the job just to, you know, be at home. And one fine day, the person that you sacrificed everything for is now going and having an affair with somebody else. You tolerate that for years and years, and now finally he is going to leave her for this young female, whatever. And along with that, he's also going to take the child because she doesn't have the capacity to look after her mother and father is no more. She has nowhere to go. So what's next? I mean, it'll be very stupid of me or anybody else to take up the high horse and advise, oh, don't be afraid, go ahead with life and, take life as it comes, or give us some inspirational story. It's very hard to give people a solution, especially when they're going through all this. I mean, I have literally had cases where people see, you need to understand there are quite a number of people who cannot afford my service, but they definitely want someone to talk to. And I don't want to encourage or give people hope that if you don't have money, come to me, talk to me, because it'll never end. Even without saying yes and explicitly saying no, I get so many people requesting. Like for example, this young man, it was a terrible thing that happened. This young man was working. He was Goan. This was a couple of years ago. He was Goan, and he was working for this oil field company. And newly married. Newly married. Huh? Everything was fine. Working for a multinational company and great future, working offshore. And he got into an accident, and his leg, the clothing that he wore, got entangled with the machinery, and his leg got ripped off his body, and he was lucky to be alive. And there he was, lying down, in bed, one leg not there, newly married. Now, what's future for him? Think about it. He was hardly in his 20s. So I've had cases like that where I had to speak to people like that. I've had cases where a client of mine, rich guy, everything going well, happy, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, does exercise, only to find out he has life-threatening cancer. Now, there are people who assume that, hey, Loy, you you're not going through any problems, so it's very easy for you to talk. And you're right, I'm not going through these kind of problems, because if I were going through them, it would be very difficult. I have my own set of problems. But then there are other group of people who think that I'm unafraid, I'm very brave, I have no fear. Well, you are very wrong. You're very mistaken. I do have fears. Just that maybe I don't show it or talk about it. If you're afraid about things, like some people are afraid of death, some people are afraid of failing, some people are afraid of a relationship breaking up, some people are afraid of losing their jobs. I have my fears. It's not that I'm superhuman. I mean, I'll share a few. I've told you, my biggest fear is I will not be able to work. Or, I use my fingers for typing. What if I don't have fingers? I communicate with my mouth. What if I don't have a voice? I remember when I was in Dubai, this happened. My voice got, I don't know, I had severe laryngitis, whereby I was more like, I don't know what happened to my voice. It was, I'm not joking, my voice ended up like that. And it went on for nearly, I think, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I thought my vocal cords were destroyed. Seriously, 3 weeks. I was so depressed. Like, I was a professional, like semi-professional speaker. I was to make money, make a living through speaking. Imagine if I didn't have a voice. My entire brand is online. What if that ceases to exist? I'm living in Thailand. I have customers and clients that come to me online. I mean, what if that stops? What if I get an accident and I'm paralyzed? I mean, these are real fears. These are actual fears. These are things that have not happened, but that doesn't mean it will not happen. So, you assuming that, or anyone assuming that, oh, he is so brave, he doesn't have any fear, you're mistaken, my friend. There have been so many fears in my life which I was very afraid of that would happen, and it actually happened, and it leaves you very scared. If you see my 2011 Loy Machedo suicide, that YouTube video, I never thought, really, I never thought I would become homeless. I never thought I would be penniless. I never thought I would be on the streets. I never thought I would lose all my friends. I would lose the visa. I would lose contacts, connections, that I would literally be on the streets. I never in my wildest dreams thought that would be possible. I was kicked out of Dubai thanks to that unscrupulous Indian employer. And in a way, I can't blame him. I have to blame myself, because I was an egoistic, pompous prick. I thought I was invincible. I was taking, like they say in Hindi, panga with people who are powerful. I used to think I was untouchable. Well, proved to be wrong. And it's a very scary thing when you actually face these problems. It was so much for me to bear that I wanted to end my life, man. Well, you can make out I didn't end my life, I'm alive. But that one incident changed my life forever. I never took life for granted. I never thought I was invincible, never thought I was Superman, never thought that nothing would happen to me. I started to be very afraid. I was very careful from there. Today, maybe when I appear on these YouTube videos, I show, yeah, and all that. But don't assume that I don't have any fears. I do have fears. I do have things that I worry about. I may not share with you. Just like you, I have fears, insecurities, worries, tension, stress. It's not just a working man. It's not just a guy who has a job and is afraid to lose his job, or someone who's in a relationship and might lose that relationship. Students have fear of failing in the exam. People who are dependent on a job and a salary and have responsibility, they are afraid. There are people who are afraid to lose a loved one. Like I told you, my that multimillionaire client, he has this life-threatening disease. He doesn't know he'll live or die. I mean, so the point I'm trying to make here is we all face challenges. And it will not stop. We will always face some new challenge. There'll always be some new problem. You cannot live without fear. You cannot live you know, without being afraid. You can't be like, nothing, I don't care. Whoever, whether it's a film actor, whether it's an actress, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's a politician, everybody has something to be afraid of. And if you are not afraid, well, be careful, because something will come to you. We have seen, I saw one video of a cryptocurrency multi-millionaire who was showing off. He got into the bad books of some gangster or something. Actual incident. They chopped him up and put his body parts in a suitcase and threw it. I think it was in Brazil. Here in Thailand, he had a Russian businessman. It happened a few months ago. They chopped him into bits and put him in a freezer. They found his body with his head, and it was too graphic. Yeah. Oof. Actually happened. You can Google search. There's a Thai lady here where I stay, here right uphill. Not joking. My video when I go uphill, the house when I'm walking up, it's on my left hand side. There's one house at the top. The lady, who is a French lady, she committed suicide. She apparently took a gun, blew her brains out, and she has left 100 million for her Thai cleaner lady. It just happened a few days ago. So and the reason why she did that is because she had cancer and she couldn't take the pain or whatever. So what I'm trying to make you understand is we all face challenges. We all have our fears. My wife may be afraid of the marriage failing, or she may be afraid of her health. My baby is too young, but my wife's mother may be worried of something else. I have my fears, my worries. You have yours. We all have stress. We all have problems. We may not talk about it. And yeah, online when we comment or talk or communicate, we appear like, I'm Superman, and we try to act smart. But all of us have fears. All of us have problems. So my only piece of advice I would say is, whatever problem you're facing is tough for you. It is very easy for someone outside to give you advice. I would only tell you, do whatever it takes to overcome that problem. Seek help, seek assistance. Now, that doesn't mean you start calling me up and saying, Loy, you said seek assistance. I'm asking you, please, I have enough and more. Find out somebody who will help you. There are people in my group sometimes, when they know someone is depressed, they reach out and say, listen, you need someone to talk to, I'm there. Bless them. They have the time, they have the resource, they have the patience, good for them. Me, I have enough and more on my plate. Reach out to people, and I tell people, do whatever it takes to overcome this. And take one day at a time. Don't think about what will happen next. Today, right now, do something now. Try to get through today. Tomorrow, we'll worry about tomorrow. So take one step at a time. And when you do it that way, one step at a time, every day if you take one step, like I've told you in the previous video, every day if you take one step, after 30 days, you have taken 30 steps forward. 60 days, 60 steps forward. 90 days, 90 days forward. 90 days, 90 steps forward. And then eventually when you look back, you'll be like, oh, from where I started to where I'm much better. So I spoke to that lady. I left her some bits and pieces, whatever I could. So whoever you are, whatever problem it is, failing in the exam, career path, failed business, failed relationship, um, a disease, life threatening, fear about losing, whatever. We'll all go through these challenges. We will all go through these challenges. We all have problems. You, me, we, all of us have. Whether it's money, customers, business, brand, relationships, health, we all have. Just that maybe some of us talk about it, many of us don't. Nobody is living a perfect life. Don't fall for the Instagram photographs or the YouTube videos, or that's just we showing one side of it. The other side is very real. So just take each day as it comes, and one step at a time. And it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to have fear, but use it to empower you and make you stronger. Because I'll tell you, just like this, one door closes, another 100 doors open of opportunities. When you solve one problem, another new problem comes up, and the problems will keep on, keeping on, and they'll keep coming. Life is a challenge. Just take each day as it comes. Take each problem as it comes, one problem at a time, one day at a time. And eventually, I'll tell you, when you look back, you'll be like, I didn't think I could go through this, but guess what I did? Like how COVID, when it was total lockdown, people could not go out, could not do work, could not do anything. Many didn't know how they were going to survive. We didn't know when was the world going to open up, when we would be allowed to go outside. So we got through it. It was a black swan event, but we got through it. So if you have lost someone that you love, if you have gone through tough times, if you have gone through challenges, problems, or you're going through right now, just keep in mind, it too shall pass. Just give it time. All right? This is all I wanted to leave you with. Just have courage. Reach out to someone. Someone will open up the door. Someone will give you a helping hand. And it'll be okay. That's all I want to say. All right? Do whatever it takes, whether it's prayers or whether it's going to God or friend or whatever. That's your stick. Do whatever it takes to succeed. All right? You guys take care. This is me signing off.